This is Police Deviance in Pierce County. Created by Christopher Michael Escobedo Sr. 2023. What is deviance? Deviance can be seen in multiple aspects of society every day, everywhere. When you see someone at work with blue hair, you automatically think to yourself, that's not normal. Yet nowadays, many people will compliment the blue hair. Time and age has a direct impact on what is seen as deviant. The older generation doesn't like rap music and sees it as deviant, while few in the younger generation appreciate classical music. So as you can see, deviance is fluid and different for everybody. I would say that everyone is deviant to someone else. Deviance is a construct created by Europeans to further detail the caste system, perception of normalcy, and how society controls itself based on these constructs that change through time, class, culture, and context. In other words, those who are in power create norms that society must conform to, or else be labeled as deviant and informally shunned. Deviance is seen as negative undertones. When those in power run into a problem with a certain group, they will label certain things about that group as deviant to society to control that group. Yet deviance can also be admired and seen as a positive thing, like the people who create social change in our country. Police deviance refers to police misconduct or rule breaking of a police officer's job. Police officers must conform to laws and department norms or become labeled as deviant officers that may be fired for behavior unbefitting an officer. As you see here, I have a couple of characteristics of maybe what a good cop and bad cop would look like. While the good cop strives for peace, the bad cop strives for power. The good cop practices empathy, while the bad cop practices hate. The good cop values diversity, and the bad cop values racism. Here are several examples of police deviance. One is misconduct. Discrimination is another one. Intimidation. Corruption. Sexual harassment. Excessive force. Illegal surveillance. And the use of restricted weapons. These are just a few. Police deviance in Fife. Mother of Leonard Thomas called the police because her son was having a mental crisis after losing a childhood friend and falling off the wagon. Falling off the wagon obviously means started drinking again after years of sobriety. Police were called out, and they called out the SWAT team. There was 29 heavily armed police officers there and 2 armored vehicles. After a 4-hour standoff, negotiators talked Leonard into letting his son leave. While Leonard was bringing his son outside, police decided to blow up the back door, kill their dog, and while Leonard picked up his son for protection, an officer sniped him. Police created a fake story about the child being a hostage so they could release the officers from wrongdoing in a criminal case. One could assume that police officers need to believe that when they are acting within the policy and the law, their actions will be supported by administrators. And this is why I believe the system supported the police officer, because that is the norm in these instances. As you see here, the police deviance in Fife towards Leonard Thomas made them pay millions of dollars in a civil case. And the things that they found that the police did was unreasonable seizure, excessive force, deprivation of a family relationship, using explosives to breach the home, unreasonably killing the family dog, false arrest, negligent investigation, and causing severe emotional distress. The family was awarded included punitive damages totaling $6.5 million. $3 million was against the Lakewood Chief Mike Zorro. $2 million was against Lakewood Sergeant Brian Market. And $1.5 million was against Mike Wiley, another Lakewood police officer. Compensatory damages in the amount of $4 million, Leonard Thomas's son. $1.885 million to his estate, and $1.375 million each to his mother and father. So as you can see, sometimes when police deviance happens, it costs the city that much money. Police deviance of Lakewood, Washington. 26-year-old Saeed Wakim was driving down Whitman Avenue Southwest when he stopped at a stop sign where the street is blocked from both ways from fences. As he pulls his car up, like everyone who comes to this stop sign, a police car is speeding towards him, heading to the police department, nearly T-boning Saeed's car. After 4 minutes with his hands up in the air, Saeed is shot from moving towards his gun, which cannot be seen because Wiley purposely blocked the car camera. Officer Mike Wiley was the shooter, and he has over 30 uses of lethal force on his record. I would use the self-control theory that states that those with low self-control are more likely to commit deviant acts. Oh, this is the police deviance that I saw of the Lakewood Police Department that day. There was a false reason for the stop. They said that he drove past the stop sign, which you could not even see somebody stopped at the stop sign if you were coming down the street. The police officer was speeding, according to a witness who saw the police speeding and heard the skeet before he almost hit Saeed's car. Excessive force, which is force did not equal what was given to him, was obviously used. Wiley told the new officer not to write a report and that he would take care of everything. And this is all recorded on audio, but sadly no video. Wiley used an unregistered gun. Wiley blocked the car camera with his car, knowing that he was doing that. Another black officer pointed his car camera when he got to the scene towards the scene, but another older white officer ended up blocking his camera also. Wiley tells the officer to keep the knife used to cut Saeed's shirt, wipe the blood, and take it home, he said. Wiley watches Saeed die for 7 minutes before anyone renders aid. And then Wiley states in the audio that it's good you stay calm because that's why we will get away with it. This is corruption, a cover-up, and the prosecutor justified killing based on Wiley's statement. Police deviance in Tacoma, Washington. Manuel Ellis was walking home from the corner store when the police stopped and killed him on March 3rd, 2020, 2 months before the death of George Floyd. Multiple videos were taken of the police using excessive force against Ellis. After beating him up, they stayed on top of his body for 9 minutes. Ellis yelled he can't breathe 3 times loud enough to be caught on a ring camera. The police punched, tackled, shocked, covered with a spit mask and hog-tied Ellis with a hobble restraint. While on the stand for themselves, the officer said that they did everything they were trained to do. When organizational goals and ends are achieved through unlawful or deviant conduct, such behavior may receive structural support and come to be defined within the organization as normative, non-deviant, and acceptable practice. And that's hard, 1997. So what can we do as society? One thing we can do is have better technology. Utilizing better technology can help curb the amount of police killings. Tasers are lauded as safe, effective alternatives to the lethal force that is at the heart of the long-standing judicial and public concerns over excessive force, said in Sierra Alvarado in 2019. Reformation is another thing we can do. As a country, we can choose to reform the system in multiple ways, like taking their guns away, as in England, or changing the demographics of the departments. Male officers had 1.65 times the odds of committing violent crime than female officers, according to Bowden in 2023. Using this statistic, if we want less violent police, we should hire more female police officers. And another thing is abolishment. We can choose to abolish police departments if we choose as a majority of the people. The problem with this is not having another system in place to protect the citizens of the United States of America. And this might lead to chaos
and a crumbling empire.